All right, ladies and gentlemen, your next bout will be in the welterweight division, brought to you by Total Body Fitness. Your referee for this bout will be Jimmy Neely. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He brings in a record of 0 wins, 1 loss. He weighed in 176 pounds. Fighting out of Elizabethton, Tennessee, Jesse Richardson. Standing across the cage tonight, fighting out of the blue corner. He has a record of 3 wins, 7 losses. He weighed in 171 pounds. Fighting out of Rogersville, Tennessee, Billy Combs.
Action continues here at Apex Fights 4 on the amateur side of the card. Billy Combs, who I believe had 10 fights last year, all 10 last year, or close to it, against Jesse Richardson, a newcomer on the scene, but has a Roy Nelson-esque beard already working for him. Billy, from an experience factor, obviously has the advantage. He's fought a bunch of tough guys, most of them on pretty short notice. So we'll see how things go in this one. Not sure how familiar you gentlemen are with either of these fighters, but I've seen a few of Billy's fights.
I've seen him fight a couple of times. Not ultra familiar, but you know, 2 independent guys is always more interesting generally than an independent guy versus a well-experienced guy. And you start to kind of see who has more in them. You might not see, you know, a lot of their best training come out, but you'll see them dig deep. You'll see their cardio. So there's still a lot to be said about, you know, watching 2 independent guys fight.
You know, one thing that jumped out to me about Billy was, I believe it was his debut about a year ago against Kyle Jones, who was the 3FC champion at the time, and it was a non-title fight, and actually took Kyle into the 2nd round, which I think opened a lot of people's eyes that he at least has some potential in the sport. As both guys still kind of feeling each other out on the feet here.
But absolutely. I mean, independent doesn't mean anything about you as a person. It means you don't have a gym. Doesn't mean you're not tough. Doesn't mean you don't have good cardio. It doesn't mean you're not even been training hard. You might have been training hard.
We saw an independent with a pretty impressive knockout earlier tonight.
Like I said, knockout of the night. Almost guarantee it will be.
Combs testing the integrity of the cage here on the takedown. Oh. Gets the big slam, but you notice Richardson right back up to his feet, Josh.
Right back up. Did not let Combs establish position on the ground, so there's a lot of energy expenditure for no gain.
Now Richardson's content to just sit down and can't really get any submission from that aspect. They were just a control, but this seems like a quick recipe to just get the fight stand him back up, as it were. The call that we hear 30,000 times at every MMA show, gentlemen.
Stand him up.
Stand him up.
Stand him up.
Stand him up.
And Richardson needs to be active here, standing up, working his hips for his submission. Basically right now, his time's ticking as he's losing the round.
Now Combs, meanwhile, is able to land some shots, a couple of hammer fists.
Richardson kind of tying Combs up, not really allowing him to do a whole lot in between the punches.
Which is just going to get the
looking
fight
closely.
It's going to get it back standing.
Yeah, Combs working to pass into a 1-hook guard here.
You got to think at this point, all the tough guys that Combs has fought in the last year, a little over a year, that's got to be paying dividends here. He's got against some pretty slick guys, some good strikers, some good grapplers. He's seen a little bit of everything there in that first year.
Kind of uneventful first round.
Yeah, not the most exciting of rounds. Josh, as we were saying, not exactly a rocket buster of a first round here, but how would you score that one?
Definitely 10-9 for Combs. He had the takedown, had position. Not a lot happened on the ground, but anything that effectively happened in that round was from Combs.
Tyler, your thoughts?
I got to agree. Got a good takedown. Not a whole lot was done after that takedown, but, for the round as a whole, not a lot was done anyway, so that takedown was just enough to seal it.
There you have it. Richardson also looks like he's pretty tired right now. sucking some wind there between the rounds, and
he was definitely clamped on pretty tight to Combs to try to stop him from passing or landing any effective strikes. It burns up a lot of energy.
Yet another brief bit of referee mopping here. We've seen a lot of that.
Cornerman dropping the ball tonight.
Richardson definitely looking a little tired to me. Combs, meanwhile, it's like he could go another 3-4 rounds after this at this point. Oh!
I think in the later rounds is really where you start to see the experience kind of show off on these guys that have been there, done that, had a few fights.
Yeah, a little bit of the sting's been taken off the punches, so it's the guy who is more composed that's going to pull ahead.
Combs definitely has some ability, I feel like.
Absolutely. He's throwing a lot of smart moves. I mean, the little front kick, we've seen that do some major damage, even in the UFC promotion. I definitely feel like we're seeing his experience in this fight. He's staying a little bit more calm, kind of picking his shots a little bit more. Still would like to see him be a little bit more active.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not going to see anything from an 0-1 fighter that he's not seen from the likes of, you know, Kyle Jones, Dylan O'Sullivan, Wade Wilcox, the laundry list of guys that he's fought with more experience, and now he's kind of that experienced guy.
Caught a nice little kick to the face, kind of shook it off.
Yep.
Even though I think Combs is winning the round so far, the thing is when you're not ultra active and when it's close, one takedown could make all the difference. Richardson could do something very minor right now and still seal the round.
Combs definitely throwing a lot more kicks this round. That's one thing I've noticed. Content to just kind of keep this one standing. He has taken a few shots, but like you said, effective but not impressively so.
Not enough to steal anything away necessarily.
Richardson definitely showing some fatigue, looks like. Starting to cover up and drop his hands, Josh.
I feel like,
yeah, I think if Combs really picked it up, he could get a stoppage here possibly.
And that Richardson with the takedown, like you were talking about, Tyler, kind of dancing around a good portion of this round.
Combs did land in a little bit of a guillotine here. He's see if he can get it. It looks pretty deep. Short time. I think Richardson will pull it out.
He's tapping.
Seconds to spare.
Billy Combs with the submission victory here. All right. We'll await the official word from Cody and back with more here from Apex Fights 4 in Blumpville, Tennessee. The one-man wolf pack.
One-man wolf pack. This next fight may be like a homicide. This chick, she's a bad little bitch.
Yep.
She's hot too.
Jackie Abshire, Paul Root. That actually be good, man.
What's that?
I think it'll be a good fight between those two. You see Jackie's win? You see
Yeah.
Jackie-
She's like a CrossFit shaved sides of her head, and this Paula Riddle that.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jimmy Neely's called to stop this fight. 2 minutes and 55 seconds into the second round. Your winner by submission via guillotine choke, Billy Honeycomb.